Well, good day everybody, and welcome to my channel Whisky Journey. Today I've got another single malt Scotch whisky review for you guys, and yes, I'm traveling back to Islay, trying out this Ardbeg right here. This is part of their core range, and it's the Uigeadail. Bottle on my left is a Colilla 13-year-old from Adelphi, first full sherry hogshead. I will reveal why I've got this bottle right here, and we'll do a comparison tasting, but I'll do that in a bit. Okay. Looking at my reviews over the last couple of years, I haven't really reviewed that many core range expressions. Most of them have been independent bottles, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to give you my thoughts on the Uigeadail. As we know, this is a mix, or the maturation is a mix of bourbon and sherry casks. This particular expression was bottled on the 23rd of February 2023 and bottled at 54.2% ABV as usual. With regards to previous bottles that I have had of the Uigeadail, I remember, well, I do find it's a bit batch dependent. I had an amazing bottle back in 2014, and then another bottle I had later, I can't remember the year, but that bottle was very much peat forward, which is fine, but the sherry cask influence was minimal, very minimal. In the end, all I got was peat and smoke from that bottle. So it'll be interesting to see what this batch gives us. So without further ado, get straight into the tasting notes and tell you what I think of this particular batch. Okay. So on the nose first. Maritime influence definitely. Seaweed, sea spray, oysters. Smoke as well, beautiful smoke. Notes of lemon. There's some sherry influence, but it is minimal in my opinion. There's some raisins definitely. There's a little bit of alcohol prickle. So it comes across as a little bit young. There's some lovely sort of farmy notes as well. I get that sort of typical sort of cow manure sort of smell. Definitely get it on the palate, on the nose. Bit of earth and rich soil. So it definitely has lots of properties that I enjoy in a peated dram. But for me, the sherry influence is quite in the background, very much in the background. And as I said, it does come across as quite youthful. Yeah. Okay, let's just get straight into the taste. I'm not going to be adding any water to these ones, guys, but let's just get straight into the taste. Smoke, peat, maritime influence, most definitely on the finish. Which is there, but it's a tad short. Moves along quite quickly. So the initial palate itself, it's quite thin. It's not the thickest or oiliest of textures. It's not what I would normally want in a dram. It comes across as a little bit thin on the palate. I'm greeted with all those beautiful typical Ardbeg notes. As I said, lots of seaweed, sea spray, oysters, peat, medicinal, and that beautiful barbecue smoke on the end. There's some sherry influence there, maybe some raisins. Yeah, there's maybe a touch of honey, a bit of salt, a bit of brine. I mean, you get all those beautiful notes that I love about Ardbeg, but the sherry influence is minimal, in my opinion, which I guess you can take that as a good or bad thing. But this is supposed to be a more sherry forward Ardbeg, in my opinion. That's what it's marketed as, and I don't think it comes across. I think the sherry influence is minimal, in my opinion. It's not quite what I remember it used to be back in 2014, 10 years ago. It's more about the peat than anything else, which is great. But I don't think it's harmonious. Yeah, just not really harmonious, and the balance is a bit off, in my opinion, between the sherry notes and the typical Ardbeg type notes. Okay, that's just my thoughts, my initial thoughts on this one. And as I said, this has been sitting for 6 months now. It's a good dram, a really good dram, but I don't think it quite has the maturity as well. I think that's one of my other concerns. It comes across as quite young, just tasting it. And a lot of people will say, right, okay, you know, peat drams or peated expressions, young is always the best. But it's maybe just a bit too young, in my opinion. There's a little bit of alcohol burn there, and I've got some prickle on the nose. But yeah, retail wise, this is what, £60 approximately. I mean, sometimes you can get it below 60 quid. But I don't know, it just, for me personally, lacks the sherry cask influence and lacks the maturity that I'm looking for in my drams, or what I enjoy. Okay. So I've got my Kalila 13-year-old out here just now, so we'll do a taste. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water. And what I'll do next is just give you my thoughts on this 13-year-old Kalila. Okay. Obviously this bottle, independent bottle, more expensive than the likes of this one, obviously. But I just wanted to give you a comparison really, and just tell you what I feel is missing from this Ardbeg. Okay, so on the nose, I mean, there's beautiful sherry notes up front, raisins, dried fruits. I mean, this is bottled higher strength than this one. This is 56.7% ABV. On the nose, I get no prickle whatsoever. Just beautifully balanced. And yes, I understand that obviously it's a different spirit in the sense that this is Kalila, this is Ardbeg, but I'm just trying to compare the maturity of the spirit. I'm trying to explain the maturity. As I said, dried fruit character, beautiful coastal edge as well, maritime saltiness, sea spray, seaweeds, smoked fish, and peat, sort of vegetal style peat with a hint of smoke. Okay, so already I can smell that this is far more mature. It doesn't have the alcohol prickle, and it smells more, it definitely smells just on the nose more mature, and there's much better balance between the sherry notes and the peat, in my opinion. Okay, so let's just get straight into the taste. Smooth, velvety, alcohol integration is great. I wouldn't I wouldn't think that this is over 56% ABV, greeted with all those beautiful sherry notes, some sherry wood, some tannin, some dryness from that Oloroso cask, and then obviously raisins, all the traditional sort of sweet sherry notes, and then it just hits you with that beautiful maritime influence and the peat, vegetal style peat, which is obviously typical of Colida, which is different to obviously the Ardbeg. It tastes mature. It doesn't taste young. As I said, alcohol integration is great on this one. Okay, even though it's higher strength than the Uigeadail. Okay, so comparison wise, there really is no real comparison in my opinion. I mean, this just tastes far more mature than the Ardbeg Uigeadail. Obviously it's a lot more expensive, so you know, Uigeadail you're looking at what, 60 quid, this is, you know, 100 quid, but my point is that I would rather save my money for a couple of months and get something that is more mature, has more of the influence that it's meant to have, like the sherry casting influence, and I get more pleasure out of this dram. It doesn't taste as hot. It's the youthfulness is not really that youthful at all, whereas the Ardbeg Uigeadail is obviously youthful, and you can taste the youthfulness in it, in my opinion. It has the beautiful peaty notes that I'm looking for. However, on the nose and the palate, just a bit too youthful for me personally, and doesn't have as much sherry as I want in this sort of dram. Okay, so would I recommend it? I guess it depends on the batch, and obviously depends on your budget. It's still a really, really good dram, but compared to something that's aged and, you know, has an age, I mean, this is a no age statement, something that has an age, I feel that I would rather get this and save my money and get something a bit better than what I get here from the Uigeadail. Okay guys, all right, okay guys, and that's pretty much my thoughts on it, and obviously it's my subjective opinion and you may disagree. Okay, anyway guys, thanks for watching, and if you enjoy my content, please like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It's always appreciated. But as usual, not much else to say except have a fantastic day. I'll see all of you again soon. Take care. Cheers.